Where is the best place that you have traveled to? And if you have never traveled in your life before, what the hell are you thinking? Please give me one good reason why you have not traveled yet. Okay, well, I didn't mean to attack you, but I just feel like there's a lot of life to live, and you need to experience what's out there and see how other people are living the world. You can't stay living in a box forever. I have done a fair share of traveling for myself, and I would like to share with you guys my top 5 places that I've been to so far. Let's get started with it. Number 5, I have Hong Kong on my list. This is a great place to start if you want to go to China and you are worried about the language barrier. And why this is a good place to start is the national languages in Hong Kong are Cantonese and English. So there's nothing to worry about if you're an English speaker, which I know a majority of the people in the world speak. This country holds a special place in my heart because I've been going back and forth to this country since I was a kid, but I grew up here in America. Hong Kong used to be a British colony until 1997, and then China took over since then. The whole situation is very complicated, so we might not get into it too much, but Hong Kong is a special administrative region along with Macau. So I'll just say that they have their own currency, legal system, and independent executive, legislative, and judiciary powers. But China is in charge of the national defense and foreign affairs. Anyways, we are not here to talk about politics. I do want to emphasize that a lot of natives there speak English, so it's very easy for you to communicate with them and get around. And there is amazing street food and restaurants. But I must warn you that this country is very expensive to travel to. Hong Kong reminds me a lot of New York in America because of all the high skyscrapers and busy roads, and you want to take the metro everywhere you go, or public transportation. Number 4 on my list is Japan, and I just went to this country recently. This country is filled with culture and history, and with that being said, and the research that I've done prior to the trip, my vacation turned out exactly how I expected it to be. Mostly. What's amazing is when you go out at night, you'll see a lot of corporate workers go out together in groups, and they will go out for dinner and also to drink, which sounds like a good time, right? But I did not expect to see so many sloppy people at night. My friends and I also stumbled upon an Instagram page called Shibuya Meltdown, where you can see native Japanese people hammered after a long night of drinking. And it's pretty funny, and it's also kind of sad and embarrassing. While my friends and I were walking around the streets, we also got offered a lot of prostitution there, which was just mind-blowing to us because we were just tourists, and we only spoke a tiny bit of Japanese while we were learning prior to the trip. There were a lot of crazy and unusual entertainment buildings that we've stumbled upon. We went to buildings filled with many floors of just arcades stacked upon each other, with basketball courts, bowling alleys, and they also have casinos on the bottom floors for you to gamble. It was just pretty insane that a lot of regular Japanese people would spend their time here on the regular. Japanese food is also unbelievable, and the price was really good at the time. Native Japanese people are also very friendly. They are also willing to give you a hand to help you out when you're in need, even though there was a thick language barrier separating us two apart. And it's truly unbelievable how clean the streets are everywhere you go in Japan, and you barely find any trash cans out on the streets. But after experiencing the nightlife in Japan, it is amazing how the streets actually get a little filthier at night, but by the time the sun rises, the streets are cleaned again. Service workers are working hard, waking up early just to clean the streets, for everybody. So big respect to Japanese people. Number 3 on my list, I have Australia, and this country also has a special place in my heart because this was the first country I traveled to by myself. And this was at the age of 22, and I was not financially stable yet, but I was on the grind and I had some hardships and I needed to take a break before I got back on the grind. Maybe I could do a little story time in the future. We'll see. So this was an easy place for me to travel to as an American because they speak English as well, but just with a little accent. And it's crazy that most of the Australians that I met, they actually love our American accent, and I can say the same about theirs. And Australia is also very similar to America. I've only been to 2 cities in Australia, which were Sydney and Melbourne, and both of them actually have pretty distinct differences. When I was in Melbourne, they would stay out and party until 5 in the morning, which I also partook in. Sydney, on the other hand, last call for drinks ended around 1 in the morning, and the streets were pretty dead by 1:30. I don't know if times have changed now, but I haven't been back since 2018. I forgot to mention, Japan's nightlife is crazy too. Please go check it out if you're there. And when I was there, they party until the next morning, so you don't even have to go to sleep. You can just wake up, rinse and repeat. While I was in Australia and traveling by myself, this was the first time that I actually stayed in a hostel as well, which is a very exciting experience for anyone to try. It was great. I only paid about 20 to 30 bucks a night. I met a lot of cool people. I'm still connected with a few of them that I had a great time with. Oh, and another eye-opener that I realized on this Australia trip that I went to was that a lot of Europeans take a gap year from high school to college, and they will go travel around the world before they commit to school and their job, which I think is a fucking great idea. And I don't know why Americans don't do the same. But I also realized the hustle culture in America and the American dream, and you don't want to waste any time. But a lot of Americans do waste their time, and I'll be making a video about that in the future. Number 2 on my list, I have Thailand, aka I call it the land of smiles, because it's probably one of the happiest places you will be when you travel to. I'm a huge fan of Thai food. A lot of people aren't because of it having too many flavors inside the dishes. Generally, Thai food has 5 flavors, which is sweet, spicy, savory, sour, and salty. And every time I go, I make sure that I tell them to prepare my food extra spicy. And there's something about eating spicy food in the hot weather on the streets of Thailand that just make it a lot more enjoyable. Make sure you grab a local Thai beer as well so you can enjoy your meal properly. Thailand, just like Japan, has a bunch of friendly people all around as well. And it was a huge eye-opener for me to go back this year as an adult, and I experienced what normally doesn't happen in America, which was a lot of ladies will actually come and approach you instead of the other way around. I've never sensed any danger while I was in Thailand, except for maybe one incident, but besides that, everything else was great. I get it. In America, if I was a girl and a guy approached me, I would feel threatened and in danger, because you don't know what the hell happens on these streets. Thailand is a great place to travel to because it is very cheap compared to America. So if you're on a budget and you want to save money, you should go to Thailand. If you're on a really tight budget, you can eat street food all day, every day. Just for a couple bucks, you can be surviving. And in terms of accommodation, you can always stay at a hostel. It's very, very fun. I would highly recommend it if you're traveling alone, like I said, because it's cheap and affordable, and you will meet like-minded and other travelers that have similar interests and would like to adventure. Thailand has a lot of culture and history as well. The people are so nice, you can't go wrong with coming here. Number 1, my top pick that I chose, where I've been to so far, is Vietnam. So the only city that I've been to is Ho Chi Minh City. which previously was known as Saigon. And if you thought Thailand was cheap, wait until you come to Vietnam and see the prices yourself. A 1-hour Grab ride with traffic to my Airbnb only cost me $6. And in comparison, I checked Uber and Lyft right when I got off the airport back home, and a 15-minute ride back home cost me $38. Vietnamese food is also amazing. I was eating hot noodle soup on the streets, on plastic chairs and small tables in the heat, and I was enjoying it. So from my observation, I've noticed that everyone that lives here is just so happy. And from almost all the people that I've talked to, they told me that they work 6 days a week on 12-hour shifts, and they barely get any time off. But what's even more insane is that they still make time to go out to see their friends, either to hang out, to eat or drink, whatever. So everyone back home, you guys have no excuses. And I'm talking about my friends too. But anyways, we all got busy lives and we have to take care of ourselves and our families. But anyways, native Vietnamese people were super friendly as well. And it was so hard to learn the language, even when their language uses the Latin alphabet, because of all the tones that they have in their letters. Vietnam has a lot of tourists that come from China, Japan, and Korea, which I did not know at the time, but now I realize why. That's it for my top 5 list of places that I traveled to so far, and I still have a lot of traveling to do, so I'm not done yet. And now that I started my YouTube channel, I hope to share more content while traveling with you guys in the future. But I am done as of 2023. So 2024 will have some stuff in store. Thank you so much if you guys made it here till the end. Please subscribe to my channel, like the video, and leave a comment if you enjoyed it. My name is Albert, and I hope to see you guys in the future.